Alright, buckle up, because what I'm going to do today is give you the 10 things that's completely destroying, crushing, killing, whatever you want to call it, your masculine energy. And I know that all of you are probably making these mistakes because at one point in my life, I was making these mistakes. And since I was making these mistakes and I figured out how to transcend them, I want to flip my screen and I want to show you how to do the same. That way you can live a life of total abundance, right? Attract the type of women that you want and actually be the man who you were called to be. So, here's what you have to know. This video is going to be a bit longer. It's going to require focus, okay? If that's something you're lacking, all the more reason to stay with me until the end of this presentation. It is going to totally change your life. Okay, these are the 10 things that are totally destroying you, and I'm going to explain why, and I'm going to explain how to solve all of them, so that way you as a man can level up and you never have to deal with any of these issues ever again. The very first, okay, is going to be chasing money. This is what you see all men are doing today, and not only that, this is what you see that all men have been programmed to do, because right now we live in a world that basically tells you if you don't have money, you're stupid. If you don't have money, you're a loser. If you can't make money, you're a bad man. If you can't make money, your girl's not going to like you for the long haul because you can't provide all this stuff, okay? What you have to understand is that anything that you chase, and I mean anything, like literally anything. I don't care if it's a girl, I don't care if it's money, I don't care if it's a certain status level, I don't care what it is, okay? Anything that you chase makes you weak. And it makes you weak because you are not in alignment with God's calling for you. See, here's what I mean by this. What men try to do is they try to model and they try to duplicate others without realizing that they themselves are unique. And I don't want to make this sound like some big emotional spiel of, oh, you're some unique special snowflake, but just like, hear me out for a second. We live in a world right now where everybody imitates each other. And they imitate each other because they think if they do that, or if they do what the other person did, it's the fastest way to success, it's the fastest way to wealth, it's the fastest way to X, Y, Z. Okay, I have even seen people imitate me. I have seen other content creators try to imitate me. I've seen the exact screenshots of the exact same pictures that I use, for example, on the MBT webinar. And it just doesn't hit the same, and the delivery is not the same because they are not me. You see, when you fully step into what you were called to do and what you're good at, you're going to start to align, you're going to start to realize something and align with something. And what I mean by that is you realize you have a certain unique set of skills, okay? I was born with a unique set of skills, so were you. Your job is to look inside, okay? Instead of seeking information outwards, look inside. And when you look inside, what you're going to see is that you have an intuition that will align you and tell you what you're good at, and what you're good at is where you can actually capitalize into, you can triple down on, and you can actually start to get ahead because you are now in a category of one and you're only competing against who you were yesterday. This is so important. If most men would just do this, they would be 10 times happier, okay? The second thing that's destroying your masculinity is going to be dirty websites. And the reason why I'm not going to say the real world is because I believe that you should not give any power to the word to begin with. The second that you allow filth to come out of your mouth when it comes to any sort of negativity, and you say that word that starts with a P, you right there are giving it power. I will not give it any power. So I don't even want to give it power, but here's what this has done to all men. It has ruined the image of sex between a man and a woman, and the problem with that is now the majority of men cannot even connect with a real woman. When I say they can't connect with a real woman, what that means is this. They are nervous to go on a date. They are nervous to kiss her. Okay, when it does come time to escalate or to be intimate, they are nervous every step of the way in the bedroom. Okay, these things crush your masculinity. These things destroy who you are, and these things right here make you a weaker human. And since it makes you a weaker human, you got to understand, my whole goal with this channel is to make you as strong as humanly possible, to turn you into the man that you're truly called to be. The only way that you can be that man that you are called to be is if you remove this from your life. See, while this might feel good in the short term, what you have to understand at the deepest level is that this right here not only ruins your image of women, but now it is making it harder to connect with women in the real world. Therefore, your dating and your love life suffers forever. And this keeps you in a perpetual trap that never ends. Okay? That is number two. The first, chasing money. Number two, dirty websites. Okay, number three, dating women when you are in your teens or very early 20s. Okay, I want to share a couple stories with this because I was in that category too before I started to figure this out and crack the code, okay? The problem with doing this is you have not yet made yourself a man. So the older a man gets, if he is self-improving, if he's developing who he is as a man, here's what you're going to see. He is ready and willing to tackle hard tasks. He's gaining wisdom. Okay, that man is probably leveled up financially. That man has found a career path or a purpose or a God-given calling that suits him that he can double down on. Okay, women find those things attractive, especially if they're going to date you. No, I did not say just sleep with you. No, I didn't say hook up with you at a party. I literally said date you. So for those of you who you are dating, monogamously dating women, meaning you have an exclusive girlfriend and you're wondering why she pulls back, why she's testing you, why she's never happy, why she's always nagging. Okay, it's because you have not made yourself a man yet. And I will explain what to do in a second, but you got to understand this. You only have so much mental bandwidth in your youth. And mental bandwidth, excuse me, is all of the things that you have to focus on in order to get ahead. This is your sleep, this is your diet, this is your career path, this is your routine, this is your development, okay? When you're spending seconds, minutes, and hours on a woman that you know it probably won't go anywhere because you yourself yet are not who you need to be. The only person that you're holding yourself back is you. But on top of that, you're even holding her back due to the fact that women peak earlier. So attractive women need an established man. And I'll give you an example of what I mean by this. There's a girl, I won't say her name, but I was probably about 21 and I was pursuing her, okay? And at the time, I had already had a few girlfriends. I already had dating experience. I thought me and her would get along, but I couldn't get her out on a date. And looking back at my text messages and the stuff I was saying, if I really go back to my iMessages, I'm sure I could see why. It probably wasn't prime. It probably wasn't good. It was probably bad compared to the things I'd say now. But the truth is that she was very attractive. The girl is gorgeous, beautiful blonde hair. A lot of guys wanted her, okay? But the point that I'm trying to make, why I'm telling you that, is because she needed an older, established man, and I was not yet where I needed to be in my masculinity journey, if you want to call it that, even if it sounds cheesy, to get that level of woman. Go figure, she ends up dating and marrying a guy who's 8 to 10 years older than her, and this happened a year or two after I was pursuing her. So it just goes to show, attractive women, especially when they hit their peak beauty very early, okay, they want an established man because if they understand and know their own market value and what they bring to this story still makes me laugh. If they know what they bring to the table, they're going to look for other men who have the same traits, okay? Number 4, this is going to be big for a lot of you who like to party. Drinking alcohol ever. Do not drink alcohol ever. Okay, you're going to see later on as I make more videos with this, why this is super beneficial to you and why even myself, I'm removing alcohol out of my life forever. But I'm telling you, don't drink it ever, and here's why. Every single time that you tell yourself, I can on special occasions, meaning, well, it's the holiday, so now I'm going to indulge, or it's Christmas, so now I'm going to indulge, or I'm on a guy's trip, so now I'm going to indulge, or do you see what happens? It's a slippery slope. So here it starts with Christmas, now it's just a regular holiday, okay, now all of a sudden it's guy's trip, now you're telling yourself it's because it's a Saturday, now all of a sudden you're telling yourself it's 2-for-1s on Tuesday. This is a slippery slope. And it's a slippery slope where once you say yes once, you keep saying yes over and over and over and over and over. So if you look at this, okay, alcohol, first off, when I look at why I would even drink this, I have no idea, because why do I want to poison myself? Why do I want to actually take in liquor calories? Why do I want to drink calories that have legitimate poison? My body registers it as a poison and wants to get rid of it as fast as possible. Why would I want to do that? Okay, that's first. Not only that, look at the sugar, look at the syrups, look at the mixers, look at the added calories I have to take in. So now instead of looking stronger, now over time, I am going to look weaker. And I don't want to look weaker, I want to look like a brick shithouse. This is very important for you to understand, okay? Now, here's what I used to think. I used to think, well, hey, you know what? Alcohol, it's a social lubricant. And whenever I go out, everybody tells me it's a social lubricant and I should loosen up and I should be good. But here's what I had to understand, what I had to come to terms with. They are all insecure, you're not. In this case, I wasn't. They're all insecure, I'm not. They need a social lubricant Because they can't sit in any sort of tension. They can't handle silence for 5 to 10 seconds. They are socially awkward. They're not happy with themselves. If you're truly happy with yourself and you like what you see in the mirror, you're not going to need this or want this at all. So if you look at what this does to you, this ruins your sleep, makes it harder to sleep, makes you hungover, makes you not feel good, makes you poisoned, isn't a social lubricant, and gives you added sugar and alcohol calories that ruins your body composition and lowers your testosterone, don't drink it ever. You know what? If you're a strong man, like if you're strong, you should be able to look at the other person and say, I don't drink, and destroy it. Oh, but you know, you should drink because guess what? You should live a little. Okay, thanks for your opinion. Like the amount of weakness that so many people have, even to like just stand up for what they believe in or say what they feel about their own life, it's getting ridiculous. Okay, these 4 things in and of itself, if you even just master this side of the whiteboard, you are going to have a much better life. However, come to the middle side of the whiteboard, okay? These things are an even more in-depth look, and a more in-depth look at the things that destroys you and your masculinity, that ruins you, that most people don't even see. They're blind spots, okay? The 5th thing is going to be keeping loser friends. You do not want to keep loser friends in any way, shape, or form, and here's why. I'm going to give you a quick overview. The first is these people actually don't want you to succeed. They want you to stay the same so that way they are comfortable with their own downfall. Okay? The next is they want you to stay average because deep down they hate themselves. I advise you to take a test. If you believe somebody is your true friend and you guys should mesh together and keep hanging out together just because you know them from the past, watch this. I want you to go pick one area of your life to level up. I want you to look leaner maybe. Maybe you get your first 6-pack. I want you to hit a bench press PR. I want you to do anything that requires masculine self-improvement. Go do that once. Show them the results in person. Like if you got a 6-pack, show them. See if they're happy for you, if they're sad. Or tell them about the success. Like if you hit your bench press PR, if you made your first business deal, whatever it is. Go share the success with the individual. Share the success with the individual. See if they are happy for you and they congratulate you. Or see if they're like neutral or seem slightly upset about it. If they're neutral or upset about it, they do not want to see you win. I would not talk to them ever again that day. Because those are the types of people right there that will get you to keep drinking. That will tell you it's okay to date these random women who aren't bringing anything to the table for you. These are the types of men who hold you back. That's number 5. Number 6, okay? This is going to be a counter belief to almost every single manosphere influencer out there. The 5th thing that destroys your masculinity, and the guys who are doing this, that are telling you to do this, don't even realize how much more they could be if they stop doing this, is chasing casual sex. Look at this. First off, it's a time waste. The second is it's all for the ego. And last but not least, you are continuously rewarding the behavior from women that you secretly hate the behavior of. Think about that. You are continuously rewarding behavior from women that you secretly hate the behavior of. Every single time that you give a woman your shaft, okay, and you're having casual sex just for your own ego, you have to understand at the deepest level that this is not good for you. And you think that you're a man and you think that you can get away with it, but I'm gonna tell you, I was in this boat where for years I was sleeping with dozens of girls. Every single year I was having new girls, more girls. I got to a point where I had no idea why I was doing it anymore. The majority of the women I was sleeping with I didn't even like, despite them being attractive or beautiful, and despite them even liking me. And I started to get to a point where I didn't like who I was. So if I didn't like who I was, it's not helping me, it's not serving me. There's better things I could be doing with my time. Now I have to worry about unwanted pregnancy, okay, unwanted STDs potentially, not knowing where this other woman's been or who she's being with, okay? All of these things are bad news, especially when you look at like the way that child support works and everything. Like most men, especially who are not in the best financial situation, you can't be doing this. This isn't good. Find quality women, understand how to control your lust, understand how to get ahead as a man with time, and this will greatly serve you, I promise. Number 7, okay? This is going to be tied to point number 1. I'm going to do my absolute best to describe this so that way you stop following and trying to imitate other people. The 7th biggest thing that is destroying a man's masculinity is not realizing that money follows mastery. Write this down. Money follows mastery. If you get good at one thing, and when I say people imitate, everybody imitates. Do you know how many people are trying to be Patrick Bet-David and never will? Do you know how many people are trying to be me and never will? Do you know how many people are trying to be Tate and never will? Do you know how many people are trying to be 50 Cent or Drake and never will? What happens is people don't step into their God-given calling and embrace what makes them unique. So I'm going to try to give you a good high-level overview of this so you understand and you can make money and be successful in anything you do. Money follows mastery. Money doesn't follow a shiny object. Money doesn't follow the next crypto trend. Money doesn't follow the next influencer telling you that this hidden business model is the new way to win for the rest of your life because they told you so. Money follows you stepping into your calling and becoming a master at something. Okay? Let's just look at some simple things to apply this to. Tom Brady got good at one thing, that was throwing the football. Became a multi-millionaire. That's one thing. Warren Buffett got good at investing. One thing. Became a billionaire. It doesn't matter what you do. You can be the best carpenter. You can be the best online guru. The best internet marketer. Like, I'm trying to give you some examples. You can be the best construction worker running a construction crew, having a construction business. You can be the best real estate agent. It doesn't matter what it is, okay? You have to find your God-given intuition, okay? And when you do realize money follows mastery, you can now step into your calling from God. God has you here for a specific reason, for a specific purpose. And I highly believe that that purpose is going to be tied to a career or something that you do therefore. And the reason because is a person's career or their purpose is taking them 8 to 12 hours a day to begin with. So if you're spending half your life on this, it might as well make you some money, and you might as well pick a skill, a trade, something that you can serve the world with that adds benefit that you can keep growing. But the key is that, the thing is people chase short-term opportunities. People chase the next crypto pump. People chase the next big stock hit that they hope is going to work. People chase these things. And the issue is they never have a compounding vehicle. A compounding vehicle means the more you put into the machine, meaning your time, your energy, your emphasis, your skills, the bigger that machine gets, it will pay you for the rest of your life because you front-loaded the work. Okay? An example of this would be like real estate. This is something my dad was in. When you invest in real estate, you acquire more properties. The properties pay you month over month. Find a compounding vehicle. For some of you that might be investing, for some of you that might be building your own business. It doesn't matter what it is, but you have to choose a skill or a trade that involves mastery. Because when you are the best at something, people want to pay and people reward experts. Since people reward experts, step into that. Get good at one thing. You have to master one thing. If you can master one thing that will pay you over and over for the rest of your life, you will never have to worry about money ever again. That's number 7. Okay, number 8. The 8th thing that is crushing men's masculinity as a whole is going to be thinking that women can fill the void. So almost every single man that I talk to, if we're actually one-to-one, and he trusts me and I trust him, and we have like a good 1-hour conversation, they all have this void at night. The void at night when they go to bed is like they don't feel enough, or they feel like they're doing the wrong thing, or they wish that they were ahead more, or they feel like they're just discontent with their current reality. The first thing that you have to do to get rid of this is you have to 100% be grateful for the life you do live. But let's just look at what these men are filling this with. When you have this void at night that I know that you feel, and you probably feel it because we all feel it to some degree, they will try to fill it with business and thinking that if they make more money, that will fill the void. They'll try to do it with women or nailing chicks, and they think that the more women they sleep with, the better that they're going to feel. Or they start to do it with things like partying, drugs, alcohol, it doesn't matter, okay? You gotta understand this. Nothing fills the void except finding your purpose and staying true to your God-given calling. That's it. Because you have an inner voice. Some might call it intuition, some might call it God, whatever it is. You need to listen to it because all of you were born with it. And this internal voice you can't find from a mentor, or you can't find this voice that is from a guru on the internet. You can't find this voice from a YouTube video. It comes from within. It's built into you. So when you take control of this aspect of your life, you listen to your intuition, you follow your voice, you step into your masculinity, you will get ahead. But you got to understand first, nothing will fill that void until you step into your calling. There's going to be an emptiness you live with day to day. Your job is to seek truth, and your job is to find that truth, and your job is to find what you are supposed to do and you are supposed to become. Do you realize how powerful this is? Do you realize how this is totally life-changing? Do you realize how this will impact your life? Do you see how you will have a better future and you can envision literally a better life for yourself? This is the hard, front-loaded work that most people don't do. Okay, what's number 9? Number 9 is going to be all forms of self-pleasure. This is something right now I'm trying to cut this out completely. I don't care if it is jerking it. I don't care if it's social media addiction. I don't care if it's whatever it is, sugar. All of these things hijack your dopamine. It's going to make you lazy and you can't focus. So the big kicker for me is like when I was younger, I used to read books all the time. And then I got to like my later 20s here. I'm 27. And a couple months ago, I was like trying to read a book and like I was like struggling to read past like 20 pages even. And I'm sitting there like, oh my God, like this is not good. And then I started auditing and I started looking at my life and all of the things that were holding me back. And I had to realize this, okay? These things that hijack your dopamine and include self-pleasure makes you lazy. So if you look at anything that requires long-term work to finish, think of like reading a book, okay? How many hours do you have to spend to accomplish the end of the book? You get that hit of dopamine at the end once you've put in the work, okay? Things like business. You don't feel any sort of pleasure from building a business. Maybe when you get your first deal, but who knows how many hundreds of hours that took in order to obtain that, okay? Another thing is like dating. Okay, this is why like dirty websites you have to cut out. But if you're getting your self-pleasure and your release from just watching a website, okay, it used to be fulfilling if you like got a girl or got a girlfriend or slept with an amazing, beautiful woman that you genuinely love because you had to put in work of going on dates, pursuing her, see if there's chemistry, getting her to like you back. All of those things are long-term work. Then you would get the dopamine hit. Today, we live in a world of instant gratification. And since everybody has instant gratification, nobody is truly centered or happy. When you remove self-pleasure, you become a better man. Period. End of story, end of discussion. Number 10, okay? When I was making this whiteboard presentation last night, I sat and I thought to myself for minutes and minutes and minutes, what is the 10th most hardest hitting thing I can produce for you, okay? The 10th and most important that I believe is not like the 10th thing that destroys your masculinity is not saying what you want to say or you being ashamed to say it. I don't care if this is in real life. I don't care if this is to a girl you like. I don't care if this is to your parents. I don't care if this is to a friend. This was me for years, okay? Ashamed to actually say what I wanted to say, which was my internal thoughts that I thought would actually help the world. So it was even like this with YouTube, right? For a long time, like for the first couple of years I was doing YouTube, I didn't even want people to see my channel because I was like, man, am I weird for thinking all this and I'm actually saying this out loud? But you gotta understand just how much strength there is in that when you can speak and you can tell people what you want to tell them without fear of their reaction, and you're able to say it because it's truth and it's what you want to say. Like, just to give you an example, do you know how many guys have had a crush on a girl probably for years and they've never told her once that they ever wanted to take her out? Like, that's a real thing. Because even if they get rejected, that rejection would hurt far less, for example, than you having to go to bed every night knowing that you're a coward. So, not saying what you want to say or being ashamed to say it is the 10th thing that destroys your masculinity every night, because it is literally death by 1,000 cuts. 1,000 cuts at a time, you slowly turn into a weaker individual. So, what you have to do is be fearless. And when you're fearless, you start to be grateful that you even have a life in the first place. When you're grateful that you have a life, you're grateful that you even get to experience pain, or you get to even experience like something that might go negatively. You get to enjoy the full spectrum of the human experience. And this is important. So every single video right now, before I make it or before I draft it, here's what I do. Every video, what I do is I ask myself, I go, does this video serve God and does it serve my purpose? Because my purpose is to help revitalize masculinity, and that's why I have this in the channel banner. I believe my purpose was to revitalize masculinity, okay, help men, and every single video before I make it, I say, does this serve my goal? Does this serve God? Does this serve my purpose? If it's yes, I post it. If it's yes, I post it and I help. If it's no, I don't do it. So this is very clear with like living life with intent. Once you find that calling, you find that purpose, you stick with it, you trust the process, you believe it will work, because your belief is addictive, and that belief compounds and it snowballs until you become who you want to be. Like I said, this would be a longer video, but these are the 10 things that are destroying your masculinity and who you are. I want you to hit the like button, I want you to comment and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.